Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend so far. I just wanted to do a quick video on how I'm liking the Nuna, my A6 bullet journal for this year. As some of you know, I still am, a big fan of the Leuchtturm 1917. This is what I've used for like probably the last year and a half to 2 years-ish, somewhere around there. And they're great notebooks. I still love them. I wanted to try something smaller, something a little easier to take around in my purse with me, and just something that forced me to create more simplistic, minimal spreads that really made me, focus on what I wanted them to do, rather than worrying about filling up a whole page and making things look pretty and fancy and colorful. Literally all I'm using in here is a Muji pen. It is a 0.38 tip size. It's like a super fine tip pen. I really like these. This is my first time using them. I love them. They're very fine tip. They don't bleed. They don't smudge when I write. It's been awesome. And then I just use my 6-inch clear ruler. So I kind of did a flip through of the 2018 setup, so if you want to see that, I'll link that video down below, but I just kind of wanted to check in with how this is working so far. I still like the black and white, very simplistic look of my bullet journal this year. I do notice that it's harder to get more information in here because I have to write so small. So like I still have my health and fitness tracking, and if I go into last year's, I'll show you what that spread looks like in a Leuchtturm. Yeah, so here's what it looked like in my Leuchtturm. That was August. And then September, I'm in the wrong month here. So I had a lot more room, and I was still kind of doing color, which was great. Whereas in here, everything's much more compact. It's very small. I don't have a lot of room to write information. I'm still getting all the same basic information in here, which is fine, I guess. And then I've got my habit tracker up here. I don't like that I can't actually write the days, like the numbers. I don't have enough room. I have to write just like the letter for the day of the week. And then I'm finding that like I'm writing a lot smaller in here to fit all the information in. Again, I still like the way it looks, but it's certainly been an adjustment. Having to write this much smaller, it really forces me to think like what is something that I want to put in here? Am I just gonna, because I mean in my old journals, if I just flip through here, you'll see that I wrote a lot more in these journals, but I also had a lot of white space, like there's a lot of blank spaces in here. It just wasn't very full. It's fine. I mean, I still really enjoyed it. Whereas in here, I find that there's a lot more room taken up. So I guess I'll just take you kind of through how January is going so far. So this is my monthly setup. Previously I used to do where I would split it up between my all-day events, my personal stuff, and my business stuff. Obviously now I don't have room for that, and I do kind of miss having that layout that I had in the bigger Leuchtturm because I had more information at a glance. I very much like to track things. I like to have things at a glance. Whereas here I'm pretty much limited to just putting what the events are for the month. And then I left a little room down here for to-dos, stuff that had to be done during the month, but not necessarily on any particular day. Then again, my health and fitness tracking, my habit tracker, and then I just kind of go right into my month of January. So I did a weekly setup here where I could make lists of like where I wanted to do weekly tasks and chores and what my any meetings or events or appointments that I would have had. And then I kind of sketched out the ideal morning and evening routine, but it was so small that it didn't really look the way I wanted it to. And then into my dailies, which again, just very simple. Learning to write a lot smaller has been a bit of a struggle. And then another weekly setup. I'm not sure what I want to do with my weekly setups yet. I don't think I really have enough room to do what I was doing in the last bullet journals, which was a big 2-page spread that, to be honest, I never really flipped back to these so much anyways, but I still wanted a place where I could add a snapshot, see what was going on in my week. But again, I have some white space left over here. I'm not quite sure what to do with it, so you know, I guess I'd kind of play around with it a little bit. And then again, another week, which I thought I was going to have more tasks, but apparently not. So a lot of left space again. And then I saw this in one of the bullet journaling groups that I'm on Facebook, where somebody did like a week at a glance on one side, and then they leave the other page for all their running tasks. So rather than marking down each day of the week, you just keep a running list of all your stuff. And for me, I think that's going to work out really well, because that's essentially all I use my bullet journal for, is just keeping a running task list of things that I want to get done. So I kind of set up the rest of the weeks for January. We'll see how this works for me. And then I left a page for a monthly reflection, and then I started to sketch out the Hello February welcome page. I'm not terribly artistic, so we'll see how this looks once I ink it in, if I decide I'm going to ink it in. And then still just the rest of it blank. So it's still really new to me. I don't have a ton of stuff in here yet. I'm looking forward to trying to stay in here as long as I can. I have been tempted to go back and get another Leuchtturm. I'll just show you guys here. This was the official bullet journal. This is the one that I was in right before I went into this red one. And I had these, where did these come from? I can't even remember now. I want to say like Create 365, or like a smaller happy planner kind of thing. I don't know. If I can find the link, I'll link it down below. But they were just these tabs, and they came in like these big sheets here. And I just basically cut them down to size on some pages and taped them in. But I liked the way it looked. But I've been tempted to buy another one just because I'm used to it. It's a size that I'm used to being in, right? And I don't know. There's some things that I miss about being in the Leuchtturm. One thing I don't miss for sure is the ghosting and the bleed through that I had. Like every single page in here, you can see, I don't know how well it picks up on camera, but you can see ghosting in every single page, and like clear as day. There's no getting around it. And I mean, it's not so terrible that it makes the book unusable, but it's definitely noticeable. Whereas the Nuna, they have much thicker paper. It's like 120 GSM, I think it is. And so there's some ghosting. Again, I don't know if my camera will pick this up or not, but it's so minimal that you almost don't even notice it compared to the Leuchtturm. And I don't know what their GSM is. I want to say like 80 or 85 or something like that. I don't know for sure what it is, but this is definitely a much heavier paper. Sorry guys, I'm trying out this new camera setup and you just about lost you. Just about tipped you right off the table. But anyways, that's about all I really had for today's video. I hope that that you guys are having a great new year so far, and we'll chat with you next time. See ya!